Welcome back to Giggle and Grow
with Courtney
and Morgan. Guys, we got some exciting news since we've been back here.
Yeah. Sorry it took us so long. We're a little late, but we're here and I got engaged. Crazy. We were literally talking about on the last episode bachelorettes and bachelorette parties and all the fun stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have my ring on me because I'm getting it resized, but yeah.
I had to do the same thing when I got my ring. It's okay. It's okay. It'll feel like you kind of are reliving it all over again when you get it back. So
yeah. And getting like a personalized wedding band, that'll be all fun.
Ooh,
so I'm excited.
I'm so excited. What are you kind of thinking about for your wedding band?
Okay, so I figured out that for my style, I like curvatry. That's what she told me.
Okay.
Because like, you know how the wedding ring has braids?
Yes.
That's curvatry. Oh. And apparently a lot of the stuff that I liked in her store all had curves to it.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. See, there's so many
sharp
things.
Edges or, yeah.
What? I don't even know. What's
I don't
mine?
Know. I don't know.
My husband.
Let me tell you, yours is beautiful. Beautiful, darling.
Thank you. No, my husband is so much smarter with rings than I am now. Like, he could probably look at like most people's ring and be like, "That's that," and I'm like, "What's that?"
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Very exciting. So.
What did it feel like, Courtney? I mean, what was that feeling? You got to tell everyone how you were proposed to.
You honestly feel like, for me, I was really surprised because I feel like I knew it was coming, but I thought it was going to be later in the year.
Yeah.
And it was way sooner than I thought it was going to be. And so I kind of was just really surprised. And you're like, whoa. And then, so we were up in Breckenridge. It was the last day of ski day. And actually, it's a funny story. So I've already told a lot of people this story, but now it's on record. So if you know anything about Breckenridge, I took the T-bar up so when there's no snow on the ground, it's like spring skiing and it's the last day of the year. There's only like one lift open, and then this one lift called T-bar, and it takes you all the way up to the top of the mountain, but it's a T-bar. How do I explain it? It's like it drags you up the mountain. It doesn't lift you like a chairlift. I'd only successfully done it one time. And so that day he wanted to take us up there because he wanted to go to the place where we had our first date. You can literally see the Continental Divide. It was one of my favorite places. Basically what ended up happening was I fell off the T-bar and I fell backwards and hit two people on my way down and cried. I went about 40 yards and I literally cried and was like, no, I can't get back on. I can't get back on. And he was trying to convince me so bad. And I actually was like, no, leave me alone. I was like, go ski by yourself. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that today, Courtney. And I was like, okay. Well, then he was like, let's ski down here and go get a drink at this bar. And I was just scared shitless to move at that point. I don't know.
I'd be the same way.
You know, it was that time of month as well. So I was like upset and just
emotional.
Emotional. And then he was like, all right, we'll just ski down here and we'll sit down and hang out. And he was like, let's just hang out. And I'm literally like, yeah, okay, he's just trying to make me feel better. I just like fell 40 yards down an icy mountain and I'm sad. And so I was literally sitting there and he asked me to take my helmet off and was like, let me take a picture of you on my phone. You look really pretty, which I should have known at that moment that was what was happening because he never takes pictures of me. He's never
I was just gonna ask.
Take a picture of you, darling. You look gorgeous. I'm like, that never happens. But I was like, okay, he's just trying to like make me feel better. So I took my goggles off and he's like, goes to take the picture. And then he literally didn't take the picture. And I was like, you didn't take the picture. What happened? And he puts his phone in his pocket. And then his parents literally like skied up to us while we're in this like pretty much, I would say like side area in the middle of the mountains. And he asked me and I was just like, I literally cried.
Did you black out?
I didn't black out, but I cried and I was just like, is this really happening? It's really happening. And I just, there's this picture where I'm like,
no, literally like sobbing.
Like sobbing, yeah. And It was sweet. And he made the box that the ring is in. And I was just like,
cherry
and
on
somebody,
top.
you know what somebody said? Somebody was like, that could be a family heirloom. I was like, oh, that is
Seriously?
so cute. I love that.
Did he curve the initials?
He
or
didn't
anything?
carve the
Okay.
initials. He likes the plain look.
I like that.
I think, and that makes it even more of a family heirloom.
That's why I asked, because I was like,
Yeah.
that if he kept it off there, it truly could go for years and years and years.
Yeah,
so.
he made the box out of cherry wood. So
Insane.
and then he literally just did such a good job. I was like shaking. I was like, yes, put it on my finger.
So you remember saying yes and all the things.
Well, I don't remember saying yes, but I was like nodding my head, like, yeah. Like, I didn't actually. His parents were like, did you say yes? And I was like, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Like, I was just so happy, and you kind of feel like you're floating, you know?
No, actually, though, I blacked out. That's why I ask. I'm like, I don't remember saying yes. I just remember the tears and my face being wet and him picking me up, and that was about it. Until like everything came back. You know?
Does feel like I feel like I knew it was happening when he was like, Courtney. And then I was like, what?
It's that tone.
It's something
I don't know.
The way they talk, and like that's when you kind of like levitate off the ground, and you're like, we're floating here. What's happening? And
imagine if it didn't happen. I would be like, wait, where did this come from?
Yeah, you're literally like, what's happening? And then, you know, the whole thing happens, and you're just like, oh. Then something happened. He surprised me with Morgan and a couple of our other friends, and we partied all night long.
Dun, dun,
it was
dun,
so
dun.
fun. Yes.
I felt a little rough the next day. It was a really great celebration.
You had to work.
Oh my God, I had to
Thank
work.
you for coming. That was so much fun.
No, I wouldn't have missed it. So
yeah, we should have blogged more, but we were just, you know you're having fun when you don't whip out your phone.
we had a snowball fight. We did. We did.
In the middle of May, folks. This is May 11th in Colorado in the mountains.
Welcome.
Jinx.
Well, Courtney, I mean, with all that excitement, I mean, it's only been a couple weeks since then. How has the wedding planning been going so far?
It's been speedy, let me tell you.
You
because
have.
we were trying to make a decision of when we want to get married and all of this stuff, and we were like, yeah, next year. And if you don't know wedding venue shopping, it takes pretty much a year to book out your wedding venue. Some of them don't, but having it a year in advance is really helpful, because we went to multiple places that were already, well, we didn't go because a lot of places I liked were already booked up.
Yeah.
For like 2 years.
That's how it was for us. But ours, I feel like our story was a little different. Ours was right after COVID. So it was all those COVID weddings were backed up and kept getting pushed till 21 and then 22. And so, I mean, we finally was able to find something, but it took us over a year to say yes. So I love that you guys found something so
like,
quickly.
boom,
You're like,
boom,
yeah.
bang. But the fun thing is we're actually going to do the ceremony. I haven't even talked about this.
No, I'm so excited.
Okay. So we're going to do the ceremony at his parents' house in Louisville. And I don't know if you know, his parents' house had a literal view of the Flatirons.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in their backyard. And it's literally perfect. I know.
That is the sweetest thing. Now, is that something that you thought you would do like before you got engaged, or was that something that you guys like kind of fell in love with once you were engaged?
That's a good question. I had never thought of it.
Never thought of it.
Never thought of it. And literally we were sitting there and I said, one thing I want to do is get married with the mountains in the background. I was like, that's kind of my non-negotiable. I just really wanted that. And so as we would search for wedding venues, we went to Estes Park, we went to Garden of Gods. I mean, all of these places. We're talking $20,000 just for the venue, literally, not drinks and alcohol. So we got to a point where we were like, I think Brett had said, my mom mentioned we could do it in the backyard, and they literally have a huge backyard. And I mean, they bought the house for the view. And so we were like, I was like, the more and more we talk about it, the more that sounds great. And so I was like, let's just keep exploring wedding venues. And we went to this venue that's in downtown Louisville, and it's called the Simon. And it's a very, like, I would call it modern venue, but the people who own it, I think if I understand correctly, she named it after her grandfather and and then they have like a speakeasy that they name after the grandmother. It's really cute.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, I think, or maybe it's their last name or something like that. But basically, we just like walked in, and she was so, I will tell you, like, I went to a ton of wedding venues, and if you are owning your own wedding venue, you treat it so much differently. Literally, like, I went to country clubs, I went to literally Red Rocks, I went to the actual Red Rocks Park, and you get so many different people trying to, it's so crazy how many different people are trying to sell you, and really they're not trying to sell you if they don't own it.
That's
and
fair.
Like they don't have to keep up with it. They might just get like a commission here and there. This woman like sat us down and was like, all right, tell me the story. And she was like, tell me this. All right, what are you picturing? And just like sold her place so well. And I was like, I appreciate a nice saleswoman. I was like, I love her, love the vibe. And I was just like, we can do so much to this. And there's like a little speakeasy that you can rent for after the party. And we're
That is so cool. What are you thinking?
Yeah, we're doing it. Oh, yes. We're partiers. So we're like, we don't want it to end. So we're going to have like, you know, a little after party. And what's fun is it's close enough. Like it's only about 30 minutes from our house. So it's close enough to where like, we're like, you can stay at one of the hotels, but like if you know, you can probably Uber home. It might be a little pricey, but if you want to go home that night, you don't have to spend money.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So
I love
excited.
that.
And my family from Louisville, Kentucky is going to be coming into Louisville, Colorado.
What are the odds? That's right. They're meant to be.
I know. I'm like, yeah, welcome, a home away from home. It's going to be really cute.
No, that is so cool. It's actually, I love that you guys discovered that and did that, because when we were trying to find our own venue, I actually for a while there thought that we would do it on my grandpa's land in Iowa, because I was like, at this point with all the venue searching and the dates and everything, I figured it would just be cheaper to rent all the things that you would want and have that big open landscape. And I mean, that was almost a dream for a minute for me. So I think that's going to be so cool to see your vision come to life. And
it's not just mine though too. That's the good part is like Brett had a really big play and being like, no, I really want it to be in the backyard. That's and so cool. It's so fun because his friend that's going to be our officiant, literally they grew up playing wiffle ball in the backyard. Cool. And it's like they've been friends for so long, and he's like such a great person, and I am just very excited for the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Wait, so I do have a question. I feel like a lot of women are a lot of the main planners when it comes to their wedding. Now, has Brett or your fiance has he really enjoyed being a part of that so far?
Yeah, I think he's really just like, I trust your decision, and I tell him what I want, and he's like, I want you to be happy, babe. He's like, I trust your decision. It's going to be beautiful. And the fun thing is our colors are literally...
She's going to ask.
pretty much Giggle and Grow colors, but not really. But like, they're going to be greens, like these kind of musty dark green, and pinks and white, and then like light green. So it's going to be
so pretty.
Just pinks and greens and white. And so... yeah,
the perfect May colors. Yeah, I love it. So, I absolutely love it.
Yes.
Has there been any like stressful moments of planning so far, or like maybe the upcoming steps that you have coming? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think picking a venue is the most stressful part because, like every venue offers something different, and they're like, well, we'll give you this, and this includes that, and even though it's this much, you get this with that, and it's like, holy shit.
It's like an overload. It is.
It is. And it's like, you have to find what works for your budget, and you have to find what works for you. And I was like, I'm okay with getting eloped. I set that at the beginning. But, you know, Brett has, and that's another thing is like, I think he's letting me plan it so much because he's like, you know, I want this. He really wanted a big wedding with all of our family. He's just like, I want to celebrate with our families, and, you know, his parents' friends and everyone, and my parents' friends. And I'm like, you know what? If that's what he wants, like, I can do it. You know? I'm like, let's do it. But I would honestly be okay with like getting eloped, because I found out in Colorado, you actually don't need anyone.
Really?
Yeah, you don't need an officiant. Yeah. You don't need an officiant. You don't need witnesses. You don't even need an animal. You can do your dog, but
Seriously? Really?
yeah,
I
you
did
don't
not know
need anyone.
that.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God. Iowa was the complete opposite. I mean, you had to go through all A, B, C, and D in order to
Really?
make sure, so in the certain time frame, et cetera, et cetera.
Really?
Yep. We had to make sure our marriage license was like turned back in right after the wedding. We actually had Sam's aunt drop it off for us because we took off for our honeymoon the next day. So no, there was a lot. And then all the fun when it comes to changing your name too. My goodness.
Yeah, that's my next question is honeymoon. What do you suggest? I mean, you said you left right after your wedding.
We did, and I think there's a couple. I mean, I feel as if now it's more popular to kind of wait a couple months, let the wedding sit in, and then go and do your whole honeymoon.
I don't want to do that.
I wanted it to be more traditional for us, and I thought that with doing the wedding and then going straight on the honeymoon, it just kind of kept that excitement, that love, that liftedness of just something you'll never do again.
Yes,
right?
that's what my fiance's mother said.
Yeah.
She was like, you just have this like feeling of euphoria that you get to take on with you to your honeymoon, and it's like, all right, we're doing it. No, and my boss is even like, all right, Courtney, we got to get the place ready for when you leave. I'm like, okay.
I mean, my husband and I, we quit our jobs at that point. We knew that we wanted to go for longer than just a week or two. We went the whole month and a half. And I honestly, if you are capable, if you're able to do that, I think it is the most amazing thing in the whole world. Because of course, that euphoria kind of goes away, right? In a month and a half, you don't have that the entire time, but you kind of get to soak in still all those moments and who you want to be, what you guys want your relationship to look like in marriage when you get back. You know, it kind of brings this whole other level of just what you never maybe thought of beforehand in your relationship. So
love that. That's cute. All right, well, we're doing it then. I'm going full force.
You don't have to go the month and a half, but I definitely, mean, do you have any idea? Have you guys had talks of where you want to go?
That's the one thing where I'm like, shit, I'm not good at that. I'm like, the wedding planning, the decorations, and like all the cute colors. Oh, I can do that, but put me in charge of where we're going to travel. I've never even been to Europe, so I'm like, suggestions, please.
Sam, we had never been to Europe, and I will say Sam did all of the honeymoon planning while I did all of the wedding planning, and it was like kind of this fun thing where we weren't really, it kind of helped us avoid arguments when it came about the wedding, because he came to me with all the excitement of the things he found for our honeymoon, and I would get to come to him with the excitement of
that's
the
a
wedding
good idea.
stuff.
I should tell Brett to plan the honeymoon.
Yeah, maybe he'll get some.
He's traveled more than I have too. But yeah, I think that's a really good idea because he's traveled more than I have. I mean, he's literally hiked the Himalayan mountains. I'm like, we're not doing that for the honeymoon, but still pretty cool.
Do you like more beach, or would you guys feel more mountainy? Or do you
have no idea. I don't care. Like, I'm just like, let's just have fun. I do like the idea of being on like a beach in Italy or Greece.
I was just going to say that, that's what we did. And I think you get the best of both worlds. You get the mountains, but you also get the beach.
Yeah.
And I don't think, at least for where we went, there were some gorgeous beaches, don't get me wrong, but it's not really known for their beaches. It's known for the beauty and just,
Yeah,
and
I really want to like, since I've never been to Europe, like, I really want to explore.
Yeah.
I do. That's a piece of it that I'm starting to realize. Like, I want to go into little shops and, like, eat at different bars every night and just, like...
Oh, Sam gained 20 pounds during our month and a half gone, guys. He ate and ate and ate. But I can tell you, you do feel a lot better eating all that food there than you do in the U.S. And I know a lot of people have heard that before, and I can stand by it. You can eat a lot and not feel so bloated and crappy, but you'll gain some weight. Is there anything else that you... I don't know. Do you have a lot of like kind of all these ideas already put in stone? Is your you said you had a wedding planner,
so I ended up getting a wedding planner, but let me tell you, these wedding planners are not cheap, but the girl I found is just starting her business, and
very cool.
I believe in helping people that are taking off the ground. And I will tell you, my biggest resource, and let this be a tip to you all, is Facebook groups.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, I got in these like Denver wedding Facebook groups, and there's like photographers who are like, we'll charge you this much. We're going to have a friend of ours do the videography, and he's going to do great, I think.
I think he'll do phenomenal. That is so cool that he's going to be doing that for you guys.
Yeah,
so I feel like he knows you, so he'll be able to kind of, take in that moment. I think
he'll know some of the girls in the room, and I think it'll just be a beautiful moment. And
absolutely.
Did you and Sam do a first look?
We didn't. We did not
Okay.
do our first look. We did a first touch. And so,
Okay.
and then his mom actually gave us a prayer and a blessing while we were
Aw.
doing our first touch. Oh, your girl, I just got my makeup done. I was holding back all the tears. You can see it in all the photos. It was such a special moment. I think Sam actually told me that he didn't want to do our first look. And
Brett and I don't.
he wanted to kind of just take in that moment as a whole.
Yeah.
When seeing me down the aisle, once again, your girl had to hold her tears back. She cried first.
I still remember you taking a deep breath, being like, and we walk. Okay, so tell me what it's like walking down the aisle, because that right there to me is scary because everybody's looking at you.
It all goes away, and this was actually something that my the little wedding planner at the venue told me the day of. She was like, when you are walking down that aisle, nothing else is going to matter. You're not going to notice a single person, and all that nervousness is going to go away. And it was so true. I mean, I was completely terrified to say my vows in front of like 150 people. That was like the last thing I wanted to do. But when I was reading those vows, there was no one else that mattered except for Sam right in front of me. And although I knew everyone was right there to the right of me, right there. No, it truly, it's an unexplainable feeling that you will feel on your day, and that is meant for you only on that day. It's all about you, and no, it's literally a dream. It's a dream, but it's scary. It's nerve-wracking at first. I was standing in line with my dad, like, Dad, don't let me fall. Don't let me fall. Just hold me the whole time, please. And your girl can't walk in heels either, so.
I'm actually, that's another thing. Since we're doing it in the backyard on grass, I'm thinking of doing no shoes.
I like that a lot.
And then for when we go to the wedding.
I mean, I wore heels, and then I immediately put my slippers on, and those slippers didn't come off until I went to bed that night. So
I'm like, so. Okay.
It's fun, but
I'm excited.
Well, and another thing too, I wanted to ask you. I mean, you mentioned before, so wedding planning, you kind of, or planner, you found someone, and it was kind of, she's in kind of the beginning stages, which I think is so cool. I mean, I didn't do
super
wedding
affordable.
planner,
and what was crazy was we sat down, we had another wedding planner, and then I went through a couple other people, but I just knew this girl, there was nobody that's going to beat her price, because I had looked at other ones, and it was like, for a full wedding planner, it was like $5,000.
I was going to ask if you could share with people, like,
absolutely not.
Yeah, where you were kind of finding those numbers, because I know mine was going to at least be, I mean, I was looking in Iowa, and they were at least $2,000 too. So I don't, and plus. So.
Well, I think $2,000 is better than $5,000.
It definitely is. No, and
so,
I mean,
that's kind of how I look at it. Is that like, if I can find somebody that's a third, we'll go with that, a third of what $5,000 costs. Yeah, I will consider it. And I found this girl, and we talked, and she was like, boom, boom, boom. What do you want? Like, really got to know us, had questions for us, was like, here's what I include in each package, here's what you're gonna get. And she's like, I've had my business for 4 months, like, she's still in the first year, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna fucking work her ass off. Like,
she will.
She's like, I'm only gonna have 5 clients at most. Right now, I think we're her third one. So
cool.
And it's like, there's only so many Saturdays. She's probably gonna do one, you know what I mean? Because she has to be with us all day that Saturday. Yeah. And so we're like, all right, and she'll do day ofs, but that's what makes you better, in my opinion. But she had been doing weddings for 3 years, and then we talked to another lady who, I'm not going to even get into the details, but she was like kind of all over the place, in my opinion. Like, was like, no, I don't know, I'm just good at my job. And we were just like, okay, what do we get with the package? And she's like, I don't know, like, she didn't really like. And then she ended up being like $7,000, and I was like, what is happening? I was like, what? I don't know. It's just like the universe is kind of being like, this is your person. It's kind of how I see it. Yeah. Because again, like, I like it when people sell me and get to know me and are like, here's what I'm going to do for you. Boom, 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 boom. Like, definitely, you're going to get a good experience. And like, immediately she's already emailed me, and I mean, she's just great. So
I love that. See, and like I said, I didn't have like a quoted wedding planner, but my absolute best friend, she was in wedding planning out in Florida, worked with the venue and all that, and she took on the absolute biggest job that I could ever imagine for me and made my dreams come true. I mean,
That's
she helped us
awesome.
with the flowers. She helped, I mean, I couldn't even tell you what the name of most of my flowers were, but I knew what I wanted.
Yes.
So she came in and helped me with that.
I know. I'm like, roses?
I'm like, yeah, what is this? Like, what is this green plant, purple plant? You know, what are those? So
your flowers were gorgeous. I love them.
She did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we'll share this another time, but there is a big story when it comes to our flowers and how our flower gal, I mean, we thought we weren't going to have flowers 10 days before the wedding.
Yeah,
oh
you
my
told
gosh.
us that vendors.
Oh gosh, vendors are a little scary sometimes, but again, like you said, I think the universe brings you the right people. So yeah. But yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the girl that I picked. Reason why we picked her, because you don't have to have I know a lot of people who do day of. Reason why I picked her to help with the whole thing, kind of, in my opinion, is because I have so many ideas and so much that I want to do that I can literally just have her help me, because another part of it is the ceremony is at his house and the reception is at a completely different location.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't want to deal with finding a charter bus. I don't want to deal with telling people where to go, all of this stuff that she can help me create a website. She can do all these things, and I'm gonna have jobs for you to do. Just kidding. But yeah,
you know,
in all reality, there's a couple things on Canva I'm definitely gonna need help with.
Okay.
But so I think find what works for you, find what works in your budget, and don't push the budget if you don't have to. I'm trying really hard not to. There's so many things that I want that I'm like, okay, do I really need that? And so that's what Brett's really good for me, is he's like, this sounds like a nice to have, not a need to have. And I'm like, you're right. Okay, this is a nice to have.
Sam already brought me back to her too a couple times.
I'm like, we're gonna do this, and butterflies are gonna fly out.
Sam looked at the cost of butterflies being flown. No, he
No
did.
way.
There is a chance. I mean, it's possible. It is definitely possible for you to do that.
I wasn't thinking that, but now I'm thinking that. I'm like,
look into it, some pink butterflies flying around. It would be really cute.
Well, I think that's it for us, guys.
Yeah.
So
all right, we're gonna wrap it up.
And we'll talk
more.
Yeah. Next podcast we'll talk venues and flowers and all
just
the fun
all the
stuff.
Specifics. Yeah, we'll get into that. But
More
find your
wedding
people.
stuff.
Yeah, more wedding stuff. Find your people. Find the right people. They're willing to help you too. Just wanted to throw that in there, as I know life can feel really hectic and it can sometimes feel lonely.
Trust yourself. Trust the universe. You're in the place that you're supposed to be, and
the people you choose to be a part of that, they're going to want to help you in every single way, and that. I mean, that's who they're there for. That's what your people are there for. So
okay, we love you.
Bye.